Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and it's another Free Play Friday, which means, woo, let the weekend begin. I cannot wait to see how many people are going to show up tonight. I've heard a lot of positive response coming from this exact thing we're doing today, working with this foil tape, which is really interesting. This is the brand that I bought off of Amazon that I posted for you guys, Nashua. I don't know, but anyway, it doesn't really matter what the brand is as long as you just have this shiny foil tape. Or if you don't have that, we can do a lot of fun things with regular kitchen aluminum foil. So hello to Carol and to Donna and Marcel. Hi guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me tonight on a Friday night for Free Play Friday. We'll be doing foil techniques, foil tape techniques, aluminum foil techniques. It's called Free Play Friday. If you've never joined my channel before, we also have another live stream we do once a week, and that's on Wednesdays. And that one is 1 in 10 by Jen. And that's a card that I make in just 10 minutes using scraps that my subscribers send in. And then the cool thing about that is that once I'm done with the card, I mail it directly back to the person that I chose to use for that week, that envelope. So it's really, really fun. I hope you guys will get involved in that. Tammy, hello Tammy, Monica, Barb, Donna, Marjorie, Christy, Tracy, and Ms. Superklutz. I feel like I have something stuck to the side of my face here. So I've got a bunch of the stuff that was in the thumbnail and the post that I used. So you can see there's different things that we can do with this. This one's got some gold highlighting in there. If you can, when I move it around, you can kind of see where the gold is. This one is not, there's no highlighting, there's no coloring or anything. This is just plain aluminum foil. And then these are so cool. These are just dies that I ran through the Cuttlebug. Hi, Hope. Thanks so much. Hi, Polly. And so this is another one that I did actually color. I did a whole bunch of different things to this, and we're just going to experiment around with that kind of stuff. And then this is another one that you can do with the foil tape, and that's just creating any kind of pattern you want. And then I turned it into just like a metallic, what do you call it? Like when they put rivets in to hold the metal together and stuff. So this is just like a hodgepodge of metal. It looks kind of cool. So you could totally, yay, Penny made it. You could totally use this on a card front. You can add it to a project, maybe put a photograph on top of it if you're a scrapbooker, all kinds of different things that you can do with all this stuff. So grab out your either foil tape or both if you want to play around with both of them with me, aluminum foil. Extra things that you might want to have on hand. If you want to try the embossing, then get out a couple of embossing powders. I've got here an aged chunky silver, vineyard berry, and fine gold. And then with that, of course, you're going to need your Versamark or your clear ink and a brayer. You don't need the brayer. I just use one because it's convenient. And then I have my Cuttlebug right off to the side here so we could do some, I should probably move that. It's going to make noise every time that shuts off. We can use some embossing folders. I'm going to do that real quick right now because I didn't think of that when I started, but it's going to jostle around and make that ting, ting, ting sound. Hopefully that's all it takes. I just moved it down to a plastic place. So the foil tape is, you can buy this at like Home Depot or Menards. Let's see what else. Fleet Farm, I think, stuff like that. This is also linked, this exact brand that I use is linked from Amazon down in the description box below, as well as practically every other thing that I use tonight, I believe. If there's anything that I don't have linked to Amazon and you really do want to try to do some purchases through Amazon, I am an affiliate, and so I get a teeny tiny commission every time you buy something through Amazon. And so that's a way for you guys to support the channel here and keep the community growing. So if you don't mind doing that, I can always give you a link to anything that may not be listed below. However, if you're going birthday shopping to buy your husband some underwear, You can buy it through Amazon, through any one of my links. It doesn't matter what you purchase as long as you go in through one of the links. Now, I get maybe a little bit higher of a percentage if you actually click on the link and buy what it's for, because that bumps up my percentages and helps us make more to put towards this community. So keep that in mind when you are shopping, but it really does not matter what you purchase. So if you are like, well, I really need the link to get that tape that she said, but I can't find the link to this tape, go ahead and go in whatever link I have put out there and get the tape, and it'll commission me anyways. So is there anyone else that snuck in that I missed? Peggy, Jane, Marcel, Carol. I think I got most people. We typically start at 5 minutes after the hour, just so that people that know that I start at 5, they know they have a couple of minutes to grab their coffee or grab their supplies and listen to me kind of talk about what's going on in the quality crafts community, which is a lot of the stuff I just mentioned. Also, I want to bring up the fact that we are bringing back Friday, Freebie Friday. So I do still post, as a side note here, Kate's Cuttables daily freebie in the KTC group, in case you guys forget about that. It's posted once every day. And they expire. So don't come back to me tomorrow and say, I didn't get yesterday's, because it's gone. You have to make an account, and then you can get them for free every single day when she puts them out. Hi, Dee. I'm glad you made it. And then, what else was I getting at? I was watching some of the stuff that was going on. I'll get back to it. Polly's Pretties wants to know, do we do swaps on the Facebook group? We totally do. Pamela Hugger Wilbur actually runs those. I don't recall seeing her name in here tonight, but if you join the group and talk to Pam Wilbur, she would totally help you out with that. She does a bunch every month, and she does a really good job at it. Marcel, you have your latte. I have my Diet Mountain Dew, and so let's just have a drink before we get started. Cheers, and now I'm going to circle around to what I was talking about. On the note of freebies, we're doing my computer just keeps blinking. We're bringing back Freebie Friday. Thanks, Penny. So, we would like you to go to the Freebie Friday post, look at the freebies that are offered in that post, and then create something using it. We will set aside an album for you guys to post your things to. Now, this is just, hey, Norma, this is just another way for you guys to get involved in quality crafts. Find something to do. People are always saying, I don't have any mojo, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know where to start. This is another really awesome way for you guys to get involved, get started, start doing something. Maybe jump out of your comfort zone, try something new, check it out, create something on the fly, whatever you need to do. We've got a lot of things going on for that. So I also want to mention, and it's 5 after, so I am going to start here very, very shortly. I also want to mention the Progressive Digi Challenge. This is already going on. The people who jumped in on board for January already got their Digi of the raccoon for free. At this point, for just the month of January, anybody else who wants to join in can buy in and get the raccoon for $1.99. After January ends and I switch to the February Digi, anybody who actually used the Digi, posted it in the album in Quality Crafts, will get February's for free, even if you bought in this month. Now, if you miss it completely in January and you're watching this at another time, and it's now February, you can buy in on the February Digi as long as it's still February, buy in for $1.99. After February, then that Digi will be gone. These are exclusive to this Digi challenge only, so I'm not putting them in the store. If you want it, you need to come to me in a private message on Facebook. Let me know you want it, and then I will tell you how to. Actually, no, I think I reversed that. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back on that. I put it in the store so that you can buy in. That way you're not waiting on me. So when January ends, I will remove the raccoon from the store and I will put the new February Digi in the store. That made more sense. I didn't want you guys to have to wait on me because I work during the day. So let's get on with the project. If you have any questions, the first Digi project is due to be posted on the 27th of this month. The projects are always required to be, go back and read the file, Tracy. There's a whole file on exactly how this runs. If you can't find the file and need help, contact Penny Ratcliffe or Pamela Wilbur, and they will be glad to help you out. Or post a question in the group and our other members will help you out. Excuse me. So I'm going to grab a piece of white cardstock off the bat, and I think we'll start with the easiest thing, what I consider to be the easiest thing here. Oops, wrong cut. That's right. And that is making that one that looks like the metal. If you look on the back here, you see that it's a piece of cardstock. Doesn't matter what kind. Mine is 110-pound cardstock by Nina. And we're going to do this one. The only thing you have to do is just cut up your aluminum foil tape in all kinds of different ways. And then, yay, Kathy, I'm so excited you made it in the chat. And put it all over here. So this is what we're creating. And we're going to start with this. So take off some of your foil tape. And just start cutting into different sizes and shapes of tape. So you want to cut at an angle. You maybe want to cut a couple of them straight across. You can do some in a triangle if you want. It doesn't matter as long as you're cutting them differently each time. I hope that makes sense. That looks good. We'll use one of them. I'll probably need more than that, so I'm going to cut just a little bit more. And I may need more, but I'm just going to get started then. You're just going to start peeling off the backing and sticking this down wherever you want it to go. You can make them all going one direction if you want. You make them go all different directions if you want. Whatever is the most pleasing to your eye as you look at it, that's what you should go with. And since I don't care what happens to the back of mine, when I get to the edge, I'm just going to fold mine over. You can definitely just chop that off, just cut it if you want. Not a big deal. They should overlap somewhat too. If you can't get yours to peel, my basic trick to get it to peel is to just roll a corner. I'm going to show you that in just a second here after I get this piece on. Hi, Aya from Finland. I still don't know if I'm saying your name right. I hope I am. So what I mean by that is to push back the corner and then roll it towards you. And then that way it'll separate. I hope that makes sense. You just don't want any white to show. You just want to keep going until you cover everything. Oops. I did not want that one to fall down, but this is not something that's going to peel off easily. I'll just put another piece over the top of that. You can always cut this down too. So if you get to the point where you're like, man, I don't feel like finishing up covering the rest of this, you don't have to. Totally up to you. Now, if you don't have the foil tape, but you have the aluminum foil, go ahead and put some glue, like wet glue, and smear your wet glue out so that it's very, very thin. And then glue little glue pieces of your aluminum foil down. You're going to want like a roller or some kind of a squeegee to squeegee out your bubbles for that, because that probably won't lay down quite as flat, I would be thinking. think I'll just cover up that white that I left there on accident. I'm going to put a really big piece in the middle. So we are having a major heat wave. We actually hit 40 degrees here in Wisconsin today. It was pretty awesome. It was still windy, so it wasn't exactly super warm, but it was really cool. I'm just looking to see if I have a piece big enough to cover that. That'll go there. So this project takes a little bit of time, but it's relaxing and you don't have to, worry about anything really. Just put all the pieces on the way you think it looks cool. Sarah wants to know, can you put the A foil on a sticker sheet? You guys got to 60 degrees, holy Hannah. 50 in Omaha. Mr. I didn't answer your question because I'm not really sure what you mean. Can you put the A foil on a sticker sheet? I don't know, can you reword that or re-ask it in a different way? I'm not sure what you're really asking me. Looks like I'm going to need a couple more to cover that completely. First of all, a little skinny one, just cover that edge. I have no idea what 33 Celsius is. Oh, I think I just got what you said. Could you put the aluminum foil on a sticker sheet? Absolutely. If you have those, you mean double-sided sticky adhesive, that would be awesome. That would totally work. Just know that as soon as it touches that adhesive, there might be wrinkles and stuff in there that you can't get out because it'll stick and create a wrinkle or a bubble, and you're going to have a wrinkle there. That's what I'm envisioning to happen. Yes, double-sided sticky paper. I think that would work beautifully. But you may have that one issue that I just mentioned. It's possible. A lot of our snow melted. I put a pile. I did a lazy pile back on the patio because I just couldn't shovel anymore. I was getting sick to my stomach. So I did a lazy pile right next to the fence instead of shoveling it all the way across the patio. It's gone. I'm glad I did that. Yeah, the wrinkles won't look bad. It's totally up to what kind of a look that you want. I just want you to know that in case, so you're not disappointed when that happens. $91.4. Holy cow. It's okay if you have wrinkles. It's really okay. All right. So I have this mostly covered, and as it's sitting here, you can see some pieces look lighter and some pieces look darker. we're going to start looking at some of the shapes that we have here and just decide. It would be awesome to put metallic run on this if it would work. Run on this. Are you talking about rub on? Metallic rub on? Rub on instead of run on? Yes, you could totally put metallic rub on. Video output is low. Okay, so you guys are going to be seeing some buffering, I guess. There's a whole bunch of that kind of stuff on here. You guys are jumping the gun on asking all the questions of all the techniques that we're going to cover tonight. This has alcohol markers on it. This has rub and buff on it. This has embossing on it. It has black acrylic paint on it. It has all kinds of stuff on it, which is why this doesn't shine the same as this shines anymore. Can you see that? So it'll be completely up to you what you want to put on it. You can put on rub and buff and anything that you want. So what we're going to do now is just decide which ones we want our little rivets on. And the only thing that you have to do or need to have is one of these little styluses or the end of a pencil, a tip of a pen, stuff like that, anything. But these styluses work really great. Find the shape that you want to do it. So I'm going to use this shape right here. I got a little yuck on the end of my stylus because I use it for everything. And you're just going to dent in down the side as if you're creating little rivet marks. You're putting in teeny tiny rivets or nails or whatever you want to call it. Super cute, super fun look. Really quick, doesn't take any time at all. And there we've got one that's riveted out here. Now I'm going to do this little one that's right in here. So this is all totally your own personal style. Everyone's going to do this a little bit differently, and that is really what it's all about. You don't want anything to turn out exactly like somebody else's. So now I've got two pieces that are paneled out that. And I think I'm going to do this one in the corner here. And there's a lot of pieces that went over the top of this one, I think. You can see the piece that I chose. Whoops. Let me flip that back over for you. Right here. And then I'm going to pick one more at the top. You can kind of see this one sticks out here. So I'm going to do that one as well. There we go. So I've got some random pieces that are, there we go, now you can see it, that are riveted. Pretty cool, huh? And now I ran some alcohol markers over mine. I did like a brown and a black. And you can totally see the marker where it stops and starts. So you're not going to get a very clean line through here. It's not going to all flatten out. You're going to see right where you put your marker. So if that's a look that to you looks, you don't like that, you know, it looks just off or, you know, whatever you decide, then don't use the colors. But I'm going to go ahead because I did on here and do some on here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to use a straight black. I'm going to use a gray. And this is a Spectrum Noir. It's IG6. I'm going to use, actually I think I'm going to use the little end this time. And I'm going to pick out another, let's see, another piece that I did not rivet to color. So I'm going to pick this one that's in between here. If you look as I tilt it, you can see this gray part right here. That's the part that I'm going to color right there. This gray is not as noticeable as the dark gray I used before, but it's definitely a different color than the silver. So if I turn it down that way, you can see the color gray that I put on there now. You could try using a blending solution, absolutely. If you guys come up with something that works better and looks really neat, let us know. Post your project in the album when we're done here and let us know what you used and how it worked out. We'd love to learn from you guys. So there we go. That's one grayed out one. I actually kind of like the look of that one. So I'm going to do another one in that color. Let's see if I can find one that's not. Okay, here. I'm going to do this one. This one's harder to see. It comes up in kind of a triangle here. And you can go over it a couple of different times if you need to. I went over that first one twice, I think. Go to a darker color if you want it to be super noticeable. You can use straight black if you want. I just thought that was a little overkill, so I didn't. There we can kind of see that one. Now you can see the two grays that I've done. You can see that they're a different color. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the browns so you can see one that it'll end up looking sort of gold. I probably should have wrote down what one I used. You could use an orange too. I didn't write it down. I'm going to try this one. This is TN5. Tracy, these are alcohol-based inks. You can try an actual alcohol ink. That would be really cool. We would love to see how yours turns out. Let's see. Let's do this one right here. This little one. I'm just going to go over this once. Can you see that? That looks cool. Let's do another one. See if I can find another piece that I like the look of. And I'm going to do this great big piece over here. This piece right here. I'm going to use the bigger end. I'm still using TN5. You may have to adjust your paper too so you can see what it is you're doing. Because sometimes the light plays off of it and it makes it a little bit more difficult to see. And the harder you push, you will leave a dent in your foil. So if you don't want extra dents, then try not to push as hard. I went over this one twice so you can really see that one. I'm gonna go over it again. I want it to be a little darker. Must have had something on here, or I was pushing too hard, because you can really see the lines on this one. I still really like the look of it though. There we go. Now you can start to see how this is sort of looking the same. I did use a much darker gray on this one originally, but it's really cool, right? So you can use that on a lot of different stuff. Yes, Nayoka, you are absolutely right. Just randomly stuck. So we cut it off the roll here, and then we cut it all up, and we randomly stuck it all over the paper, and then we did a little bit of dotting with our tool, our stylus, and then we did a little bit of alcohol marker coloring. They both look kind of cool though, right? All right. So let's do one that looks like this. I went ahead and rolled mine down to the edge. Looks like I maybe used 2 pieces or so, and then folded them over, and then I embossed it. So let's try one like that. I'm going to cut another piece that's a little bit bigger. I'm basically using card front size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you're wondering what size paper, excuse me, mine is. This one and the other one that we just did, both the same size. So let's see if we can get a piece on here without wrinkling it up. They totally would. If you have the embossing folder that looks like metal, I don't even know what it's called, that would make a spectacular masculine background as well. I'm going to see if I can find mine that looks like that. This is why I don't normally have them all near me, because I've got a whole box full of them. Be a crazy lot of work to find a space big enough to hold them all. So I'm talking about the one that, gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like metal. It's got those, like, it almost looks like pieces of rice maybe, or diamonds kind of. Oh, here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This one. So I think we'll use this one and see how we do. Nayoka says, be careful, the edges will cut you. Ask me how I know. I've not been cut yet, but yes, heed her warning. It would really be bad if somebody got cut. Oh man, I didn't get that close enough. I have one little white line running down there because I was just off by a little bit. That's okay. I think what I'll do is, even though if I get, let's just run a half down it and see what happens. See if it straightens out or if it flattens out. I gotta put one on the last edge too, so we've got the other half for that. You also do not have to glue, like your aluminum foil, you don't have to glue that to paper first. I just like it because I like the stability. Diamond plate. Thanks, Kathy. Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense. Diamond plate. And I'm going to cut the rest of this off because I already went around the edge on the other side. Yeah, like the toolboxes. Who said that? Mary Farrington. Yeah, Farrington. All right, so this is the one I want to use. And I'm going to run this through the Cuttlebug. I think I still have this set up for my skinny dies, so I may have to take out my little things here. I don't think I need those for my regular. Just 2 B plates in my Cuttlebug folder. And here we go. Yep, you can absolutely die cut this too. Thanks, Jamie, for mentioning that. So here we go. Look at that. You definitely can see the little lines. So if you want to go without the lines, you might want to try a little bit of your aluminum foil. I still think that looks pretty spectacular. I don't think anyone would say anything if that was on a handmade card. That is really cool. I'm glad we tried something different that wasn't on the picture that I originally did, because that's cool. Let's do one that's got just, what time we got? 5:30? Okay. Let's do one for sure that's for the aluminum foil users. Now, I want to show, first of all, that you can take your aluminum foil. One side is shinier than the other, and it's totally up to you what side you use. I just really like the really super shiny side, so I'm going to use that side. I'm going to fold it in half. And you see, I've got wrinkles, right? Don't worry about it. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. My ring keeps sliding. And then I'm going to cut some of it off, so it's more of a rectangle. I'm kind of shooting for maybe the size of an embossing folder, but not perfect. I'm not worried about that. Okay, I'm going to flatten it out. I've got wrinkles, but like I said, don't worry about that. There's no cardstock in this. This is just aluminum foil folded over. Okay, and I'm going to put it through this one. I really, really like this one. Just the tin foil. And I'm starting to think, I think I have to replace this and use a different, I think this is going to be too big. Yeah. Okay, so we take out one of these. I don't remember exactly how I did this one. We may have to experiment a little. Where did I put my little rubber mats? Oh, there they are. And maybe just one rubber mat. These are a little thicker than, there we go, 2 rubber mats. These are a little thicker than the regular embossing folders, which is why the 2B plates won't work for that. It's just too thick. And I don't want to break my Cuttlebug, so let's go ahead and take this out. Remember all of the wrinkles? Look at that. Now you've got that really cool embossed piece. And the wrinkles are gone, correct? Okay, so there's no wrinkles. You just have that really cool whatever embossing folder you put it in. Now, this should be pretty sturdy for a regular card, but you know if somebody comes up and scratches it or bumps it, or, you know, if it gets run through the mail kittywampus and who knows, it gets shoved through, you might want to put non-machinable. It could change this, you know. But I can squish it in my fingers and it moves the lines a little bit, but it's not bad. It's sturdier than you believe it would be. That's what I wanted to say. You would think that it would not be sturdy, but it is pretty sturdy. I would probably put this down with either ATG or a sticky adhesive. If you're going to do the flat onto the paper, you could use a wet adhesive. You could try a sticky adhesive, but here's the thing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is just the aluminum foil, correct? So this is also just aluminum foil. There's no paper on this. I ran that one also through a Cuttlebug folder. Okay. No, I would not unfold this. I would leave it that way so you've got a bunch of it for sturdiness. If you want to do, where did I put my little feather guys? just in case some of you guys didn't see those in the beginning. There they are. They're hiding behind my roller. If you want to get something that looks like these, then use a double-sided adhesive to put them down on a piece of cardstock if you want them to be really sturdy. Okay? So you can do die cuts and things. You just want to make sure that if you've got a delicate one, that you might want to back it on a piece of thicker cardstock to make sure that when you run it through that it's not going to fall apart or curl up on you or get ripped or wrecked. These are my absolute favorite. I think that is so, so cool. So if you've got a double-sided adhesive, go for that. This is the one that I did originally. That's this one, but I noticed I put it on a piece of paper. I backed it on paper. And this one is this. Yeah, look at this one. This is the one that I used the foil tape on, but because the pattern is so, I don't know what I want to say. Because the pattern is so busy, you almost don't even see the lines of where that went. Thanks, Dee. She said, that's beautiful. So there are lines in here where the tape ended, but they're less likely to be seen the busier your pattern gets. And I really, really happen to like this one. I'm almost positive this one is linked below. So here's some of the things that we've already done and some of the things that I've done ahead of time. So you guys can get a quick look at that. And then I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of embossing on there with your embossing folders. Some of you guys have probably already done this. It's a technique that many of us have done before, but maybe just not on foil. Cheers, guys. We've got 45 of you here tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. If you like what you see here and you enjoy these live streams, won't you invite a friend next time? The more the merrier. We'd love to have more people joining. So let's do one. Double-sided adhesive. I don't think I have mine out here. Oh, if you've got a double-sided adhesive, no, not double-sided adhesive. What am I thinking of? You know, the little Xyron things? I've got one around here. I know I do. If you have Xyron sticker machines like these, where you can like cut out letters and stuff and put them through here and pull them out the bottom and they become sticky. If you do them upside down, you can make those foil too. If you need another way to do it. So do this one. You show 52? That's awesome. So you can use your Xyron and your sticker machines for making, for putting your foils down too. I'm almost positive that I did glue on these, and I want to just check and see if they're going to peel apart on me. You know, if they are, it would take some doing. So I'm not too worried about that. I do want to try, though, as long as we're doing this together, instead of doing the feathers again, since you've already seen these guys, I want to do something different. I want to try like some of these flowers and see if we can get some cool looking silver flowers. So I want to do this whole sheet, and I'm hoping they cut through really well because I haven't had super success getting, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all 8 to cut out at the same time. Mostly because my embossing mats are a little bit skewed. Do you see how they're a little bit bowed? And I keep turning them over, you know, this way and this way to try to keep them as flat as I can, but they're still a little bowed. Do you see that? Anyway, so once in a while I don't get a full cut with these, but I want to try it. So let's go ahead and I just want to see how this is going to turn out. Almost positive I used this kind of glue with my aluminum foil. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down. I'm going to put glue all over it, especially on the edges. Thing is, if you add too much glue and you don't like roll it out and make sure that it's put down well, you'll end up having these glue spots. I'll show you what it looks like. Get another piece. I'm going to glue it down. I'm just going to go ahead and roll mine out. Do you see where you can see? Can you see where you can see all the glue? Do you see that? You can see all the where I wiggled it and where I have little dots of glue. You can see that on there. That's what I'm talking about. I have a feeling, which is why I said I would put the glue on originally. I put it on and I'd smear it out with my finger. Or use your double-sided adhesive, that kind of stuff. Because this is what you don't want to happen. It's getting all that glue mark. And then your foil might come up. So let's go ahead and just take this, since we've already got it down, as an example, and see what happens when we run this through the cutter. There's so many different ways that you guys can do this that you should have, hopefully, one or more tools at your disposal at home that you can do this with. There's some wiggly spots here where my glue did not spread out. Obviously, it's not going to be totally full. So let's just see how that happens. What happens when we cut this? And I have a feeling that because we're going to have holes like that where it comes up, where it comes right off the paper. This is why I don't suggest you do what I just did. But like I said in the very beginning and right before I did this, just smear it out with your finger or put the glue on with a roller. Or use double-sided adhesive, something so that I make sure that it adheres to the whole thing. Or do it without the paper, you know, just like we did with this one. Fold your aluminum foil in half a couple of times and then run it through. So let's see what we get out of this one. We might as well try it, you know, because it's good to learn from our own mistakes as well. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes in my crafting all the time. I'm gonna cut it, I think, this way so that when I look at it, I can see if it's cutting or not, and I can run it back through if need be. So I need my 2 rubber mats and my 2 B plates, both of them, to run this through because this is a thinlet. It's really thin. Just want to make sure that my paper doesn't jump off of that die. And here we go. I'm going to run it through one more time. I have a feeling that they might not all cut. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got here. Nope, I dropped all my plates. There we go, and it's stuck on the other side of it. So let's just flip it over and see what we have here. Looks like they may have all cut. Oh, look at this. Do you see? Do you see how it looks all wrinkled and stuff? I want to tell you, as soon as I punch these out and give you a really good look at them, I'm going to tell you why that happened. I love the look of it though. How cool. See? And now these are coming off because there's not enough glue on the inside to hold them down. So now you'll know to make sure you put enough glue on so that that doesn't happen to you. Are the little ones going to come out? Oh yeah, they are. Maybe the aluminum foil is what I want to use when I cut with that. So I don't keep one plate for cutting and one plate for not cutting. So I've got cut marks on all my plates. That is why mine came out so wrinkled, because it was squished into that plate for cutting and it got squished into all this menagerie here. Do you see that? So if you've got a Cuttlebug or a Big Shot or whatever, make sure that you're cutting it the right way and that you've got a smooth plate on the top if you don't want that to happen. Right? It looks really cool though. I might actually still use these if I can get them all, if I can get glue on them enough for it to stay where it should. These would be really fun with sentiments too. Cool. All right, we'll save some of those too. Those are neat. Alrighty. I promised you that we would do one that had some embossing on it. So I want to go ahead and let me just move these out of the way right away. We're going to use our 2B plates. And I want to do an embossing one. So let's see. you have to have a pretty obvious positive and negative. So like this one's pretty obvious. You can see that in between all that negative space would be, well, you can do it either way. Depending on how you put your paper into the folder, you could get all the negative space to emboss, or you can get all of just the top of those little markings to emboss. So when you look at them, when you look at your embossing folders, you kind of have to think about that. What do you want it to be on? What do you want to show up? Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Like this one. So this one's super busy, and I just chose that let's see, how do I want to say this? I choose to call the part that's popped up the positive space, and the stuff that's sunk in the negative space. So for ease of this video, so we all understand each other, the depressed, the stuff that's sunk down is where I put the gold, and that's embossing powder. And the stuff that's popped up does not have it. So that's what you're looking at when you're looking at the inside of your folders. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left. We might be able to pull off one of these. And the other thing is that I told you before that this one is also just tinfoil. This one came from this. Do you see the design in the center? I just cut around it with the scissors, and that's all I did. So you can do that with any kind of little embossing folders that you have to create little metallic embellishments that you can add to whatever you need to. So if you have a lot of those teeny tiny embossing folders, like I just got rid of I just sold a whole ton of them, you can use those to create some really fun embellishments. Oh, the chicken wire folder, that would be so cool. I don't have one yet. I really want one. All right, let's try one. Oh, I have them right here. Oh, the dots would be fun too, wouldn't they? How about bubbles? There's some bubbles. I just want to experiment since we're all here together. I want to try this one. Let's see. I want the sunken bubbles. The bubble tops. I want these bubble pieces to be embossed. And I'm just going to go ahead and just use this because I have it out here. It's Vineyard Berry. I suppose I could probably look for a blue, but I don't know where my blue is right now. So let's try that. I'm out of paper. I'm gonna have to cut a few more pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and use the foil tape for this one again. You can use your aluminum foil if you want. It doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna cut another card-based size piece of paper, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Usually just about fits in there. All right, and we're gonna cover this one with the foil. Right? Get your folders out. All of you guys, get your folders out and use them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this one right down the middle this time, and then 2 other ones on the outside. When I'm done here, I'm going to go over to Quality Crafts. I'm going to set up an album so that everything that you've done with me tonight as we've gone along here, or that you're going to do this weekend maybe, or whenever you get around to seeing this video and trying it out, come on over to Quality Crafts and put whatever it was that you made in that album so that we can all learn from each other and see what other kind of things you guys came up with. I mean, obviously, I'm never in an hour going to show you everything you can do with a certain product or a certain technique. Alright, and I'm going to fold over some of my sides here, and I might cut some off. Yeah, I think I will cut this side off. My scissors are non-stick. I have these linked, I'm almost sure, on qualitycrafts.com. So if you want a pair like that, you can just peel everything right off because they're non-stick scissors. All right. Now I'm going to put the folder down. I want you guys to be aware of what I'm doing here. I want these bubbles to be embossed. So I'm going to make sure that I put my shiny side down on the embossing part. Okay. All right. You can go ahead and take this directly on here and just smash it on here if you want, or you can take a brayer and bray it on. Okay, we're running out of time, so I think I'm going to skip the brayer, even though the brayer I think gives you a better result, and I'm just going to smash it directly on. I think, well, not a better result. I think the brayer gives you like a smooth result, a more even. Maybe a more even result. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. All right. So I'm going to put this down on this side. And I'm going to hold it and close it because I don't want it to scoot around. And I'll bring in my cuddle bug. So let's see what we get here. One down on the bottom. And one on the top. That's our sandwich with our thick plate on the bottom. And roll it through. Now the Versamark is made to stay wet for a while, but you want to have your embossing powder and stuff ready to roll. And I'm gonna dump mine over a piece of print paper so that I can get it back into my container. Oops. Stuck my finger right on it. Silly me. So all those little bubbles should turn out this color. Let's see what happens. Play around with this too. This is not something that I'm super experienced with. I just think it's a really fun idea, and I've done it a couple of times, a handful of times. So if you look, you can see where it's sticking in the holes. Mine is a little bit staticky. I probably should have used my static buddy. I'm going to see if I can just rub something right over the top of this real quick and knock a little bit of it off. So I don't want it to be all over the top. I just want it to be in the little holes. There we go. All right, I'm going to set that aside so I can get this back in the, most of it back in the jar. And then I just throw my papers away, or you can flick it off in the garbage can and reuse that paper. And then I'm just going to set this. This is a heat resistant mat as well. So I'm going to just leave it there, and I'm going to emboss it right on the table. Now be careful because this is metal. You don't want to touch it right after you're done because you will burn your hands. Just be very careful about that. And there we go. We've got all those little bubbles are like that wild berry color. Cool. I think that would look really neat if we did it in blue too. Alrighty, we're almost to the end of our hour, so let's start wrapping it up. Put my big brush away so that I know where it is next time. Make a little clearing here so we can review what we've done. I love this part so we can see all the stuff that we can do. And then you guys will come up with more stuff so that I can learn from you as well. We used our tape and our aluminum foil. And this is the one we just made. Remember we made this one first? So if you're a little bit late or you're just jumping into this video, you can go back and check out how we did this. Super simple. Just cutting it and putting it on, making a couple divots with our stylus. And then I showed you how to do a little bit of that embossing. That's this one. There's some gold embossing inlaid in there. This is another one that we just embossed. No paper, just aluminum foil. Really cool. Here's some aluminum foil ones that we did, showing that you definitely need adhesive on everything. You can't just dab the adhesive on. You need to either have a double-sided adhesive, or if you're going to use wet glue, make sure that you roll it or smear it with your finger over the entire surface, because the aluminum foil is coming off of these guys because we didn't use the glue the correct way. We did that wrong on purpose so that we could see what does happen if we just dab our glue on like that. It doesn't work out real well. So let's just put these guys here. This one we did with just aluminum foil. We folded it in half and then in half again. So there's probably literally, what, 4 layers in here? And you can put that directly on a card or cut it if you want. This is the only one I didn't show you, but I already showed you some of the techniques that are on here. There's alcohol marker coloring. There's embossing. And then the only other thing I did on here was I used a little bit of rub and buff or acrylic paint. So it looks a little bit fuzzy because I put on like some black acrylic paint and then wiped it off. That's a whole nother, that would take a whole nother video. And then you can die cut this any way you want. You can do sentiments. You can do all kinds of different die cuts with that. So get your die cuts out. Get your embossing folders out. Grab your aluminum foil from your kitchen. Here's another one we did so that you know that you can use this for some really fantastic masculine cards as well. Embossing and die cutting and all that fun stuff. Get all your stuff out and experiment with this, because I'm going to go right over to Quality Crafts. Like I said, I'm going to set up an album so that you guys can post what you have made following this kind of technique, playing around with these two things. We would love to see what you have made there. Another couple of things I just want to say. Thanks, Janice. She said, I'm going to rewatch this video. It's so cool. Thank you so much, Marcel, for coming. Donna, I predict the shops are going to have a run on aluminum foil tomorrow. Awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. I'm really glad that you joined me on a Friday night for Free Play Friday. Make sure you're checking us out on Wednesday evenings as well for the 1 in 10 by Jen, the card that I make in 10 minutes using scraps that subscribers send in. And the cool part is that I send that finished card directly back to that person that sent in the scraps. So that's super fun. Over at Quality Crafts, we have the Progressive Digi Challenge going on. If you missed the description of how this works, you can find a file in Quality Crafts that will explain it. You can also rewind this video to the beginning, and I explain it there as well to let you know how that works exactly if you want to jump in on that. These are the projects that we did today. And then we're bringing back Freebie Friday. So Friday, we'll show you some freebies. You choose from the freebies what you want, create something, and put it in the album. This is just another way to get your mojo going, to give you ideas, techniques to try, things to do, so that you can be busy crafting and doing fun stuff like that. It's all about being, what do I want to say? It's in my little blurb in the beginning that says that we're an interactive group. We want you interacting. We want you checking out what other people are making. We want you posting what you're making so that we can learn from one another. So the whole point is that my tutorials will bring you ideas that will spark that creativity. And sometimes messages pop up and I have to okay them. We want to spark your creativity. We want to take you, even if you're a beginner, and give you ideas that you can do now and feel successful, but also fun ideas for those of us like me who are intermediate to advanced that just enjoy seeing things come back up again, or maybe like, oh wow, I knew that technique, but I didn't know those couple of tips you shared, so that was super fun. That is the whole idea of Quality Crafts. We are very welcoming and really cool group, meaning so there's no deadlines other than if you're swapping. To how do I want to say this? There's definitely no drama in our group. We have a drama policy, so you can look that up. And there's no commitment. You don't have to be committed to putting in so many projects or whatever. You join in the things that you want to join in. Obviously, there's deadlines to like the Digi challenge and stuff like that, but there's no commitment deadline. I'm not going to kick you out of the group if you don't participate in so many things in every 3 months or anything like that. So if you want to be a lurker for a while, be a lurker. If you want to check out what everyone's doing, do that. You know, wherever your comfort zone is, but we do encourage you to step outside of that once in a while so that you can have fun, learn something new, and be successful at it. And I can't wait to see you guys next video.